Joining us now on the Picks for Polls podcast, we've got Oklahoma State safety KT Hylton in the house. You can follow him on Twitter at KT.Hitman. He's going to be talking to us about his college experience, preparation for the NFL draft, and what it was like playing for UTEP, but also the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Kobe, thanks so much for hopping on. How's it going? How is this Sunday morning treating you?
Going on, appreciate you for having me. It's going good. It's going good so far. I can't call it, man. Just enjoying life.
That is awesome. So let's get right into it, because coming out of high school, you were at a couple different places. Ultimately, though, you landed at UTEP and then Oklahoma State. So what about UTEP and Oklahoma State made them such appealing places to kind of want to play college football and further your career?
Well, really, it's actually a crazy story. So I started off because I had went to junior college. So after junior college, I went to Louisiana Lafayette. But UTEP always been in the picture. Like, they offered me out of JUCO, but like I kind of like put them on the back burner, because I was like, UTEP, like I'm not gonna go there. Like, I was just thinking like my talents is way bigger than UTEP. I'm not gonna go there. But ended up going to Louisiana, and like things wasn't shaking out for me. So I had hit the portal. It was crazy as UTEP was like the first one on my line. Like, first one hit me up. So I'm like, man, like, they still sticking around. I'm like, yeah, this is some loyalty. So I had went and took the visit. And when I took the visit, I fell in love. Like, fell in love with the culture, everything out there. So, yeah, that was that as far as the UTEP moment. But yeah, that's really why I went, because they still, had the trust and the love for me.
And then what about Oklahoma State? Like, how'd you end up there? I mean, I'm curious to know, because it's like there's UTEP's one of those schools where it's like they're on the rise when it comes to sending guys to the NFL, but why Oklahoma State?
So really it was because so I really, rest in peace, Coach Demo, because he was my head coach, but he had ended up getting fired. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna go somewhere else to finish out my last year. And I already, my whole goal was to go higher, go Power 5 or whatever, Power 4. But I just hit the portal. I was trying to test the water, see what's going on, see what's out there, and it was looking slow for a minute. A couple big schools was coming, but it was looking slow. Like, they were trying to play the slow game. You know how it go. Like, they just want to see if somebody's gonna pull the trigger, and then they gonna come. But Oklahoma State was the first one to pull the trigger, because two of the coaches on staff were my junior college coaches. So everything just felt familiar. So, me going there, it was like, it's like a family feel. I always said that, it's like a family feel. So, he had for me. And yeah, it was the first school that wanted to take a chance on me. So, I just went with it.
So I guess I have to ask you this as well, because you're talking how about you always wanted to play sort of better competition, higher competition, What were the differences in playing, at UTEP versus Oklahoma State in terms of just the preparation week to week, day to day, but then also the guys that you were going up against, the competition?
I say, as far as the competition, that's a different touch. It's not really that much different, because it's always in a group of 5 too. I say, like, it's per position. I think that's only different. As far as group of 5 and Power 5, it's more depth per position. But as far as like the players, is going to be players on every team. But the little things like film study, keeping up with your body, those are the things that I see, like, as far as the resources, which can, take a game to the next level, which I had at Oklahoma State, because I was in top tier shape when I was at Oklahoma State. So I think that's the only difference between Group of 5 and Power 5.
So speaking of the resources and everything that's available to you, I mean, I have to know, right? Like, what is the preparation going like in terms of how you're getting ready for the draft? What's the daily routine like? You doing any workouts right now? Are you working out by yourself, or are you working out with a trainer?
Oh yeah, I got a trainer. I'm doing a little whole pre-draft thing in Atlanta. Adapt. It's an Adapt in Atlanta. A couple of people don't went there for the pre-draft service, but yeah, I'm doing that. Monday through Friday. Same workout. So Monday, Tuesday workout. Wednesday is an off day with recovery. Thursday and Friday is a work day too, and then we have extra work Saturday mornings. To just go over like either the starts, the back end. Just little things that you want to work on. So it's definitely constant work. I may not like show it. I don't really like to just broadcast what I'm doing for real, but I'm definitely working Monday through Friday, getting ready for pro
Yeah,
day.
no, yeah, I mean, that's really good stuff to hear because it's like, you can't be a great football player without having that like weight room and then the strength and conditioning component of everything as well. But, I have to honestly know, right? Like football is such a mental game. You playing defensive back, there's more, I feel like, mindset involved than any other position on the field. So talk about the mental side of the game. How do you rebound after a bad play? When you do have a good play, how do you continue to respond no matter what happens and just consistently make play after play, knowing that sometimes things are going to go your way, sometimes they may not go your way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, just that's something I like to preach and every time. The short-term memory, regardless of if you made a good play or a bad play. It's gonna happen. That's again. That's the name of the game. You're gonna get got, and sometimes you're gonna get something, but the goal is to get more than you get got. So that's what I try to live by, But it's always frustrating when a play happen on you or whatever it is. But you just gotta brush it off, take it to the chin, on to the next play. But I think that's the most important thing. Like when you dwell too much on it, because the mind is a powerful. It's a powerful, powerful spot. So if you dwell too much on it, it's gonna carry on to the next play, and then your performance for that one's not gonna be as high as it would have been if you would have just dropped it. So I just try to let go and just get on to the next play.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so important having that next play mentality. But, during the season, I mean, you're super busy, right? Because you got your lifts in the morning, I'm sure. Then you got practice and you got practice, classes, homework, everything. I mean, what is a
Mm-hmm.
typical week of game prep for you like in terms of what you're doing, Monday to Saturday to kind of get ready for whatever that week's opponent is and then ultimately playing the game?
Well, it was. I say last year was probably my best year because I was a grad student, so I didn't really have to worry about school as much. So that was like extra weight off my shoulder. But Monday through Friday, it's the same thing. Getting as far as preparation, during practice, and me, I like to call myself like some type of film junkie. I just like to get tips and help me for the upcoming team. So I always watch some extra film at home and like just write down in my notebook like little keys and plays and formations that they like to run, like they top formations, because every team has these top formations coming into a game, and at some point in the game they gonna run the same thing but just flip the plays. So I just like to look for like little nitbits that I can see, like if the tight end is off, is he peeking back, is his foot tucked, little things like that. Is the guard, how his shoulders is set, is he peeking as well? Is his hand down? Is he a light hand type of guy? What I mean? So it's just little things I'll be looking for as far as that. But film study, I don't try to go as hard, on the field in season, but I still like to do like some type of maintenance every day after practice. I'm doing some type of maintenance, either pedals, brakes, or whatever it is. But, at the same time, understanding that, you don't want to overwork your body, but also that's why recovery is important too. So I feel like it's a good balance of all that during the week, which would give me a good, chance to go out there and perform Saturday.
So you've mentioned the word recovery a couple times now. I mean, take us through your sort of recovery process. What is that like? What are you doing? Are you spending additional time in the training room? Are you eating something outside of practice with your weightlifting and everything, like additional protein? But what's the recovery process for you like?
Well, really, it's all that. Me, I like to say, anything that could help me get better in any aspect will be recovery. So, me, I like to stretch. I take pride in stretching. I'll be doing yoga. I do anything that can get my body, stay fresh. Because, like, say, for instance, I get a call tomorrow, hey, the Bears want you to come work out. And now I was sitting on my ass the whole time, not, not recovering or doing nothing like that. So, just being ready at all times. That's what I like to do. So stretching, putting the good things in my body. As of recently, I've been, we got a juicer at home. So I've been juicing beets, ginger and stuff like that. Just good stuff to, give myself a fighting chance, build my immune system and stuff like that. But, my main type of recovery is stretching and yoga. And sometimes cold tub and sauna. I'm not a cold tub type of guy, though. I can't be doing the cold for real, but it helps for sure. But yeah, my main thing is stretching and yoga, and things like that.
That is definitely one of the more unique answers I've heard, but I'm curious to know. Let's talk about you getting to the next level. I mean, where do you see yourself fitting into at the next level? What are some of your strengths as a player? How do you think, everything you've done the last couple of years in college translates over to what you're going to be doing at the next level?
Well, I feel like where I could be used at Well, I like to say my game, I'm versatile. So, I could basically like a plug and play. And like me being, everybody like to claim they smart, but I can pick up a playbook pretty fast. I've been under a couple of different systems in my time, like in each school I went to, I've earned a spot, like respectfully, I earned a spot, I catch in the eyes of the coaches and everything, which ultimately, give me the spot to play on the field. So I just feel like, I bring a lot to the table, like a lot more. Like I'm a safety, but I'm also like athletic to where they can put me down in nickel. Like this past season, like a lot of people don't know this, coming into Oklahoma State, I wasn't even supposed to be playing nickel. I came in to play the boundary safety type of role. And coming into the spring, I won the turnover king award. I got the most turnovers. I'm, making plays left and right. But the starter who was hurt in the spring, he came back during fall camp. So, they put him in the role. Now they trying to figure out what I can do. So I'm playing all three DB positions. They just trying to figure out, what I can do. And so they see me at nickel. And, I was telling them I played nickel and JUCO. I be popping it sometimes. Like, man, put me at nickel. I can hold it down. So I guess I went out there did too good because I ended up, earning that spot. But I'm like, man, because, my production really at high safety. I like to come downhill. I like to see the field, what I'm saying, get your reads. And I like to just flow, you know what I mean? It's going side to side, downhill and everything. But I just did what I need to do to help the team, and just where coach was comfortable putting me at. So I just did that. But yeah, I think I'm branching off a little bit.
No, you're good. I mean, that was some real good stuff there. So
Okay.
what type of scheme do you see yourself fitting into at the next level? Like, are you one of those that's like, all right, I'd rather play in a 3-4, a 4-3, or more so like a base 4-2-5? Like, what type of scheme do you want to play in at that next level?
I'm not gonna lie, the scheme really don't matter. I would say more so the position. I feel like I could play just about any scheme, but as long as I'm the high piece, or even like the box to, some people call him the star or the rover, to where he can move around. I feel like that's as far as production wise, that's where I'm most productive at. And yeah, so that's why I say my answer is.
Do you I'm curious to know, right? Like, what is your favorite coverage to play? Like, I know you've kind of talked about how you want to be super versatile, but do you prefer to play man to man, zone, and then beyond that, right? Like getting more into it. Do you want to play like cover 0, cover 1, quarters, cover 3, cover 2? Like give me your favorite coverage to play and why.
All right, so my favorite coverage, if I'm at the boundary safety, I like the cover 3 where I like to drop, what I'm saying, into the hook. And I just like disguise and stuff. And in any way, I'll say zone though, to answer that question, zone. But I can do man, like man. I can play man. I got to get that up better too, as far as a strong suit. But I'm capable of doing it all. That's why what I'm saying, coaches really like the versatility. It's like, all right, he can do this, or we can work with him on certain other things. But my main thing is zone. I like to fool the quarterback. What I mean, just get from point A to point B real quick. So I say zone. Which allowed my eyes to just be on the quarterback and see more things to give myself an extra step ahead to break. You know what I mean? So I think that's what my answer is, for sure.
So give me an example of like a play where, like from this past season at Oklahoma State, right? Where you're like, all right, so I went out and made a game-changing play. Because I know like we've all had those when we've been on the gridiron.
For Oklahoma State, okay, let me think. I say game changing. Man, I don't know. I be tough on myself too. That's a lot. So I wouldn't say any game changing ones. I had a couple good plays, but I wouldn't say game changing for Oklahoma State. Just because of the spot I was at. I was a man majority of the time, so it wasn't really game saving things. It was a couple good plays I made though. I had a little TFL. I blew up a bubble screen. I was about like 6 yards away. Just triggered downhill, outside leverage, and just got a tackle for loss for 1 yard. I said that was a good play.
Who'd you blow up the bubble screen against? Like, who were you guys playing?
Oh, it was Tulsa. Yeah, it was Tulsa.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so outside of some, there's a lot we still got to unpack here, but I'm curious to know, right? Like, when teams bring you into the building, when you go and talk to NFL teams, right? Like, what specifically should they know about you? Like, what do you think that they're getting? And then, what do you bring to the table for them?
Well, specifically, they should know, like, I'm a hard worker, I say like my work ethic. I like to say it's impeccable. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like comfortable. I don't want to feel what's the word? I don't want to get complacent. I don't like getting complacent. So whatever it is, I like to work. And even when I am doing work, I like to do more work. Just something to get me put me over the edge. So I say my work ethic and the fact that I'm versatile and I can do whatever it is the coach needs me to be. Not just on defense, special teams, whatever. I was a hell of a special teams coach at both schools. Even Oklahoma State, you ask Coach Snyder. Bill Snyder, legendary family. He loved to send me on a punt return off the edge. And he always tell me every week, man, you this close, you this close. I'm just like, man, every time. And they will, the people will see it on film. They'll start to scheme. So, I just say, just my versatility and the fact that I can, do whatever it is that the team needs. Not even just the coach, just the team. So that for sure.
Do you feel like the versatility of being able to play boundary safety, but then also be the guy that's up in the box versus, a team to have kind of, a 8-man box, right? Help the defense out in the run, but then also drop back into coverage. Do you feel like that is such a big strength for you? So like when these evaluations with these teams do pick up here in the next couple of weeks, what's going to happen is more and more, coaches and GMs and scouts are going to be like, hey, we need KT from Oklahoma State because he brings something to the table a lot of other guys don't.
Yeah, definitely. That was part of the plan to begin with. Just show them that. Because when you like just do one thing, it just it leaves you, really closed. You're not really open to more opportunities. So the more opportunities I can have, that's what I'm shooting for and striving for. So. Corner, nickel, high safety, box safety, whatever it is, I just want them to know that I'm versatile enough and smart enough to pick up on the playbook and understand my role on the defense. Because it's all about the role. You got to be a role player, and I feel like I'm a hell of a role player, whatever it is. So I think that's what I bring.
So let's talk Chicago here for a moment, because again, we are a media outlet that covers the Bears. I mean, the Bears are a city that's known for really good defense, great defensive backs. Obviously, Bears fans love their safeties that can kind of drop back into coverage, but then also play up in the box if needed. I mean, what do you know about the Bears franchise, and have you ever been to Chicago?
I haven't been to Chicago yet, actually. Actually, I lied. I have been to Chicago. We played Northwestern when I was at Usayd, but that was just, for a game trip. But that was the only time I've been to Chicago. But I say, I mean, I know a little bit about the franchise. It's definitely a couple people. Brian Urlacher and everything. Just growing up and watching football. But as far as like deep diving, I don't really know too much. I know my partner on the team though, Terrell Smith. Shout out T-Time. He went to the same high school and everything. That's my dog. But yeah, that's really all I know as far as like franchise wise.
So, okay, let's talk Terrell Smith, for example, right? Because I've interacted with Terrell in the locker room and stuff, seen him out at practice over the last couple of years. I mean, as you get ready for this next step, have you kind of talked to him about what it would possibly be like to play in the same city on the same team? Or have you maybe talked to him about what life in the NFL is like and how to navigate the next couple months?
I mean, not really. I haven't really, he just like be DMing me and just like keep going, a little motivational things like keep going, bro. You're on the way. But as far as like, how is it there? How is it this and that? I haven't really done it because I got a couple, homeboys that's in the league, So if I don't get it from him, I'll get it from somebody else at some point in time. Like my dog Andrew Booth, who was on the Vikings, but he just went to the Cowboys and everything. It's been a lot of people who's been in and out the league who I know of, so they already gave me the ropes. They already basically gave me the guidelines of what to do. It's just up to me, to execute. So, but no, yeah, I definitely, shout out to Terrell because he holding it down, but he definitely, give me some insight as far as, the do's and the don'ts, But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it is so interesting how, like, you mentioned knowing Andrew Booth, and then I was scrolling through your Twitter, right, the other day, and I kind of saw, and that's when I kind of reached out to you for this interview, and I saw that you had, retweeted something that Terrell Smith had, which kind of made it so interesting. So I was like, all right, does KT know Terrell Smith? But, you talked about watching football when you were growing up. I mean, do you have a favorite player that you looked up to, like a favorite player on offense or defense that you maybe model your game after?
Yeah, so hold on, I'm walking to the car to get my charger. But yeah, I did actually. So me and my brother, we started off as Giants fans. So hold on. We started off as Giants fans, so like to begin with, I didn't really have like a defensive player. So like, I always like random Jacobs and Eli Manning and stuff like that. But I'd say like my first defensive players that I really fell in love with was Nnamdi Asomugha and Darrell Reavers. That's where I found the love for playing corner, because I started playing corner first before I moved to safety. Until I realized that's not my fit. Everybody got to fit on the football field. So, but it's just, I like the way how they played the game. Nnamdi being a longer guy, a longer corner, he really modeled me to like, all right, it is a spot for like long people on the field. Because, I always thought like, man, these are just people that can run, stuff like that. But nah, Nnamdi showed that he can do everything. And he was a press corner. So I'd say those are my, first two that really made me love the game.
That is definitely awesome. And again, I remember watching both of those guys too growing up. So beyond just that, right? Like, what is your favorite football memory in either high school or college that, a moment that happened that you're like, I am going to, this memory is going to be ingrained in me forever?
All right, so I'll probably say a memory. Can I have more than one?
You could have as many as you want to. I mean, tell us everything.
I bet. So a memory like that would probably be, our first one would be high school when I moved to safety. So, all right, so people don't know. So I only played 1 year of high school ball for real. I played 1 year of varsity football, which was my senior year, and I blew up. But that was my first time playing safety. But the only reason I went to safety is because I was getting cooked at corner. It was like the third game of the season. I was getting cooked, and my coach was like, "Hey, just go to safety." And like, it was that game and the following week of practice, I fell in love. I fell in love with it. So boom, I ended up getting 4 picks my senior year. I was tied in the county at one point in time, but I think that was my first, like, found my real love and passion for it. And I say the next time was when I was at UTEP. Just my first year at UTEP was probably my most memorable, because I just felt like, I had a chip on my shoulder, coming from JUCO and everything. But I say the moment probably was UTSA, when I got that fourth down stop, and the Alamo Dome, whatever they dome is called, that was rocking. It was the last game whether we could be bowl eligible or not. But I got a fourth down stop Frank Harris, the squad that they had, and I just went down the field celebrating. I think that was my most memorable moment for sure.
I mean, that is definitely awesome to hear. It sounds like the experiences that you had at UTEP, but then also at Oklahoma State, have really set you up for the next level. So football, I think, is a game of lessons too, right? Like, you go ahead and you learn a lot about who you are, about how the team works. But what lessons, did you learn throughout high school and college that you maybe feel like are going to translate over for you at the next level as you kind of keep going? Because I think the big thing, right, is that it's like you said that, high school football, you're playing corner, coach moves you to safety, and then everything kind of takes off there. But what lessons have you learned through football?
So it's really 3 lessons I try to, live by as far as the football thing, and it's perseverance, it's hunger, and patience. If you got those 3 things and you're just willing to keep pushing no matter what, because there's always gonna be those naysayers, to tell you that, oh, I don't know about this, the odds. People love to tell you what the odds are. I feel like I'm an odd breaker. I'm an odd, you know what I mean? So patience, perseverance, and hunger. You gotta have that, because you gotta have the patience, because you don't want to rush everything. Especially like if somebody in my situation, they'll be like, oh man, I didn't get no invite. I got the East West Shrine preseason watch list, and then things just went south. Somebody will be quick to, pop off and just be mad and everything. But no, it's patience. You got to play the long game. And I know that, like I said, my work ethic and my drive, there's nothing that's going to stop that. So I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm going to get there for sure. So I think those are the things I try to really live by as far as this football thing.
Yeah, that is definitely some really good stuff there, because I think, like, going ahead and just keep going, at some point, things are going to go ahead and things will work out for you. So before we get out of here, where can people kind of follow you, follow your journey, keep up with all your work?
Just the gram or Twitter. I don't really people be saying I'm an old head for real because I don't got too many like socials like that, but really just Instagram and Twitter, and I got a Facebook too. So, and they all the same thing, KT the Hitman or just Kobe Hylton.
All right, that is
Yeah,
awesome. You know, if you guys are listening to this right now or you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to go ahead, drop KT a follow. This has been awesome. I mean, seriously, keep in touch over the next, few weeks. If you need anything, let me know. We're more than happy to help you out here at Bear Report and rooting for you as you kind of get ready to take that next step.
Perfect. One more thing I want to say is, I got my Big 12 Pro Day coming up. It's gonna be on NFL Network. Just stay tuned, watch. I'm gonna do some good numbers. I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to, toot my own horn too much, but I'm gonna do some good numbers. So definitely stay tuned for that.
Absolutely. That is something that we are going to be keeping an eye on. I mean, the Bears, for some reason, love their guys from Oklahoma State because, they took Tevin Jenkins a few years ago, There's this sense of, this is a sort of, and I have an OSU t-shirt somewhere. I should have wore it for this interview, right? But yeah, I mean, OSU sort of like this underrated hotbed for football talent. So
definitely, shout out to them Cowboys, man. Go Pokes.